Today, I want to talk about a subject that's very common in long-term marriages. And maybe for many of us, sooner or later, we face this subject. And this is discontentment in our relationships. Have you ever looked at your spouse and thought, I wish my spouse were a little bit more funner, a little bit more engaging, a little bit more intelligent? As the years go by, we change, we grow, we become a different version of ourselves. And then we may find ourselves not being very compatible with our spouse. We feel like they haven't evolved maybe as much as we have. And now I'm in a different place in life, and we are no longer compatible. We don't match. And this feeling will begin to grow in our heart, and we gradually become discontented in our relationship. And because we can't verbalize these feelings, we begin to withdraw. We become cold in relationship. We feel like we don't have much to say to each other. And we gradually think, if I was going to choose today, I wouldn't choose my spouse. I don't think we are a right fit. I think maybe I made a mistake. Or I wish my spouse would have changed as much as I have. You see, part of our problem is that contentment in our marriages is not found in getting a better version of our spouse, but it is found in accepting what God has assigned to us. In today's culture, we read a lot and we hear a lot about not settling for less, wanting everything to be the best. And we feel like if everything is not 100% the way it ought to be, that somehow we are being cheated, we are being shortchanged. But you see, another thing we lost in our culture today is the idea of accepting our lot in life, accepting what has been assigned to us. You see, in 1 Corinthians 7:17, we read, let each person lead the life that the Lord has assigned to him, and to which God has called him. And this also includes our marriage. Our marriage was not random. It was assigned to us. But you see, we forget who we were when we got married. That at that time, our spouse was the right person. But now that we have changed, we begin to feel like they are no longer the right one. That somehow now it's different. And we want maybe somebody else, or we are not content in our relationship. But you see, the problem is not in our spouse, but it's in the attitude of our heart. We covet a different version of our spouse. Coveting is a desire for something that God has not given us. You see, God gave us our spouse, but now we have a desire for something else, something different, because we have become different. But you see, if we allow covetousness to control our heart, no spouse would ever be good enough, because a restless heart will always find a reason to be unhappy. But if we accept that yes, God has brought my spouse into my life, and even though we don't have maybe much in common right now at this point in time, I accept my lot. This is what God has assigned to me, and I accept it, and I try to make it the best that it can be. But the problem is, we don't like to sacrifice. We don't like to accept things that they are and what God has assigned to us. In today's society, we are bombarded by always wanting what is best. And if something is not 100% right, then something is not right with it. Or it can be right because I don't feel satisfied. But in reality, if we accept what God has assigned to us and find enjoyment in it, gradually over time, we see that they were still the right person for us, but not allow this covetousness to take hold of our heart and make us to become unhappy in our relationship. So, just a thought that I wanted to share, because I think most of us in our marriage, if we've been married long enough, sooner or later we may cross this bridge that we have changed, but our spouse have not evolved as much as we have, and we are no longer compatible. But even if we are no longer compatible, we still want to accept our lot in life, what has been assigned to us. And this finds grace in the eyes of God. When we do, because God has assigned and we accept, even though at this point in time we might not necessarily be 100% happy, this is honorable in the sight of God, because we don't act on the attitude of our heart, but we act based on what He has assigned to us. And He has given us our spouse, and there was no mistake. So, until next time, may the Lord be with you. May He watch over you. May He make His face to shine upon you. This is David Sami with a Christian Journey.